morning, good afternoon, good evening, Professor. For my final project this semester, the topic I chose is the impact of social media on interpersonal communication styles among young adults. So basically, I want to propose an idea of a study how students or young adults interact with each other on social media, like what type of language they use, how they converse with each other, certain styles like that. So, for the introduction, the research topic was exploring how social media influences interpersonal communication among young adults. The importance of this is social media is central to daily interactions, shaping how relationships are built and maintained. As a 22-year-old myself, social media is something I use every single day to converse with my friends, whether we send them posts or news stories or just funny videos. It's how we talk to each other and converse every day. And the purpose is to identify how communication styles adapt to social media platforms and the broader implications on interpersonal dynamics. So basically, we want to identify how the communication styles are used on different platforms as well. So the research goals and questions. The goal is to investigate the influence of social media on interpersonal communication styles and relationship dynamics among young adults, as listed previously. Research questions. The first one is, how does frequent social media usage shape interpersonal communication? So, how does conversing on social media frequently shape our communication from one to another? What role do specific platforms, for example, Instagram and Snapchat, play in fostering particular communication behaviors? So Instagram, in its own way, you can DM by basically texting in the app via direct message. You can also send posts, caption on those posts, make your own posts, basically commenting on what you think or why you're sending it to your friend. And Snapchat is basically texting, but you can also take pictures. So you can take a picture of your face, you can take a picture of what you're doing, and send it to your friend, and your friend will do it back to you. Or you can just text per usual, like SMS. But pretty much, which roles do these apps in their own ways create communication behaviors? And how do these changes differ across varying levels of in-person interaction? So how does conversing with social media differ from talking face-to-face? So the literature review overview. So the first article I chose was Social Media and Asynchronous Communication Impacts on Conflict Management Among Young Adults. So basically, the study explores how social media's nature alters conflict management. The author identifies a tendency among young adults to use delayed responses as a tool to diffuse or avoid conflict. Now, this is important because if you're sending things to your friends, you want to avoid conflict and not cause it. The study emphasizes how features like blocking and scene receipts encourage avoidance rather than resolution, resulting in unresolved tensions. These behaviors suggest that the immediacy and accountability of in-person communication are diminished in digital interactions. So basically, this study shows that on certain apps, it will show you if the person saw your message or opened your message and they didn't respond. That promotes that this makes the sender think that what they sent doesn't matter and that they're being ignored, that the other person doesn't care, can't be bothered, whatever. And if you're sending things to your friends, you don't want that to be the case. You want them to interact with it. You want to have a dialogue. And showing that seen or opened is discouraging. So the second article I chose, Curated Identities and Digital Conflict, Examining Self-Presentation's Role in Online Disagreements. So the authors, they focused on how pressure to maintain a polished online persona complicates conflict resolution. They find that subtweeting or indirect communication is a common response to disagreement, which stems from the desire to protect one's identity. So pretty much, you'll even see this with athletes, celebrities, rappers, as recently as Kendrick Lamar, Drake. That's when he's a real-world example there. But so basically, people will subtweet and take a shot at someone without directly saying something. So let's say, I don't know, my friend Kevin is annoying me and being mean, like, or disrespecting me face to face. So I'm gonna go onto Twitter and tweet about something, like either like make a quote like from a song, or like if someone's disrespecting me, I'm basically subtweeting him or sub dissing him in a way. So I'm not directly saying it's my friend Kevin who is being rude, or I have a problem with. And the last article, Nonverbal Absence and Online Conflict Resolution, Challenges in Digital Interpersonal Communication. So the author examines how the absence of nonverbal cues such as tone and facial expressions affects conflict resolution in digital communication. Study reveals that misinterpretations and escalations are frequent due to the lack of environmental context. So that's why texting is so weird. All you read are the words. All you read is the words that someone says. There's no context. There's not exactly context behind it. So something as simple as, okay, fine, I'll do it, that may come off as, okay, fine, I'll do it. But in reality, someone probably means, okay, that's fine, I'll do it. Like in that tone. There's no tone and there's no delivery in these messages, which can be conflicting. Okay, why is this not working? Sorry about this. Okay, so I'm sorry, that was weird. What? Okay, I'm so sorry about that. My keyboard stopped working. So key insights from the literature. The delayed responses, asynchronous communication tools encourage avoidance behaviors, but can also provide time for reflection. The indirect conflict strategies, the pressure to maintain a curated persona leads to less direct communication, complicating resolution. And nonverbal limitations, the lack of cues amplifies misunderstandings and reduces the richness of conflict interactions. Okay, here we go again. Guess this has to... Okay, we're good. Connection to research goals and questions. These studies collectively highlight the nuanced ways in which social media affects conflict dynamics, offering a foundation for exploring how digital platforms transform interpersonal communication, particularly among young adults. So the research paradigm and methodology. This study is qualitative, and the method is ethnography. So the justification of this, it provides an in-depth exploration of communication behaviors in natural social media settings. And the approach is observing and analyzing interactions across platforms. The proposed sample and population. The population, young adults aged 18 to 25 with diverse backgrounds, preferably, and frequent social media users. So we want people who actually are on social media daily. The sample, purposive sampling to include users of various platforms, for example, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, aim for a mix of heavy and moderate social media users. So we would love frequent users, but we also want to see moderate users, people who don't exactly post all the time or don't exactly send things to their friends or others every single day. Data collection methods. Techniques, virtual observation of public interactions, for example, like comments and posts. Semi-structured interviews focusing on participation or upon participants' communication habits and platform preferences. The ethical considerations, informed consent for interviews, anonymity of online data and participant identities. So anonymously. We don't want to put people's full name and exactly their demographic, but we just want diverse backgrounds while keeping them anonymous to some people, to the people who see the study. The data analysis. Techniques, thematic coding to identify patterns in communication behaviors, comparative analysis across platforms to discern unique influences. So we don't want any influence. We want people's real takes and opinions. strategies for credibility, triangulation with multiple data sources, observations and interviews, peer debriefing to validate findings. So we want to make sure these findings, we want to maybe run them twice. We want to see, we want to gather the data from observations and interviews. Reliability and ethical guidelines, credibility ensured through detailed observation logs and member checking during interviews. We actually want to go in and log the person who's giving the interview. And the ethics, adherence to privacy regulations, sensitivity in analyzing public content to avoid misinterpretation. So in conclusion, the summary of this study: social media significantly influences interpersonal communication styles among young adults, with both positive and negative implications. For future research, we want to extend findings to explore long-term impacts on relationship development and conflict management. And my closing thought is, as social media continues to evolve, so must our understanding of its role in shaping human communication. These are my references. I'll move my camera out of the way just so you can be able to see them. But yeah, that's my proposal, the interpersonal communication studies of social media. Thank you so much.